I'm up here on the Bone Road getting ready to do some more videos. There's a golden eagle for you. Beautiful birds, aren't they? I'm going to talk on the subject of light. I've been asked by my Masonic Lodge to do a video on light. Well, actually, they haven't asked me to. They asked me to pick the subject, and I'm going to do it on light. It's an inexhaustible subject. I could do hundreds of videos on it, for sure. Boy, it's a beautiful day. The sunlight is out today, for sure. This subject of light is intriguing when you discuss it from the ancients' point of views. Oh, there we go. To the side, right up on that pole. There he is. Now you can't see him easily now. Anyway, I'm gonna. Actually, it's a red-tailed hawk. He's playing hide-and-seek from me. We know that Philo of Alexandria, he was basically a contemporary of Josephus and of Jesus. He said, "I seemed always to be borne aloft into the heights with a soul, possessed by some God-sent inspiration, a fellow traveler with the sun and the moon, and the whole earth and the whole universe." Philo repeatedly describes the experience of the soul in the supercelestial regions as a process of fertilization by the rays of the divine light. I think that's a fascinating image. The soul ascends back to heaven. They meet the sun and the stars, and they arrive at the summit of the heavenly vault, and they gaze into the infinitive plenitude of light. They behold God at its center. Whether in the Orphic mysteries or the mysteries as Plotinus describes with the ascent of the good and the godly to the mysteries, the Neoplatonists always meant the Orphic version of the Eleusinian mysteries. It's irrelevant. To attain it, for those that will take the upward path, who will set their forces towards it, he says, they will divest themselves of all we have put on in our descent here to the earth. This is the holy celebration of the mysteries. They are appointed purifications and the laying aside of the garments worn before and the entry into nakedness. Hippolytus says of the Naasines and the Gnostic mysteries, who took their cue from the Eleusinian mysteries, he too knew that there was a descent and an ascent into these mysteries. The ascent, of course, is into blazing firelight. It signified the higher celestial creation in which the initiate ascended in order to be reborn in spirit. This is the gate of heaven, and this is the house of God, where the good God dwells. It's all about the light. The mysteries involve the light. All right, well, I get to sit in the comfort of my own log cabin while I talk about this subject of light. Cooking me some popcorn real quick so I can eat popcorn in my own video to give you guys a hint. You know, eat popcorn while you watch videos. Why not? It's like going to the movies. This concept of light is so interesting. There's so many very interesting different views and interpretations from the various ancient cultures that, and I found just a sampling of them. So I'm going to do this for the general public. I'm going to do a specific Masonic lecture for my lodge here in a month or so, where I will show what I consider to be some absolutely beautiful parallels with the ideologies of Masonry and the ancient concepts of light. I think they're fascinating. For the more general public who are non-Masonic, this subject is every bit as fascinating, so you're not going to be missing anything. So, the text edited by James H. Charlesworth, John and the Dead Sea Scrolls, it was published early on in the, I believe, the late 1950s or 60s, and it's been republished in 1991. In his article on the dualism in the IQS and the Gospel of John, paralleling the Gospels with the Dead Sea Scrolls, he brings out some very interesting themes of light in the Dead Sea Scrolls, as well as in the Gospel of John. Hang on, my popcorn just finished. I'll be right back. Yeah, baby. Bowl of popcorn. I can't help it. I love popcorn. This is probably going to interrupt what I say. And actually, it'll probably improve my pronunciation of the Hebrew when I share it with you. So anyway, Charles Worth notes really interesting ideas on the predominance of the light versus the darkness motif in both the Gospel of John as well as the Dead Sea Scroll fragment, the IQS. And he discusses the most conspicuous aspect of this dualism. Now, early on, the Dead Sea Scroll scholars thought this dualism was because of the Persian influence. The Zendavesta, and they went back to the very interesting Persian texts. And you know, they're still working through this. This idea of dualism in the IQS, the predominance of the light versus darkness motif, the contrast is between two warring spirits. And it's immediately evident since we know that the spirit of truth and the spirit of perversity, he says, are categorized on opposite sides of the mutually exclusive light versus darkness paradigm. Light or darkness denotes the origin and the qualities, the actions of the respective spirit. Light is often used interchangeably for righteousness, and darkness is frequently applied alternatively to perversity. Hence, spirit of truth seems synonymous with prince of light. So light is associated with truth, and the spirit of perversity seems to be associated with the angel of darkness. So this theme of light's interesting. The germinal idea of this paradigm, he says this on page 78 and 79, may be traced to the division of light and darkness in Genesis 1 verse 3. And this is interesting. William Hamblin, on his YouTube site, Hamblin of Jerusalem, which I highly recommend, he's exploring the creation story. He puts it right up on his video screen in the Hebrew and the Greek and the Latin and the English. It's sensational. He discusses this theme of how even in the New Testament, the light motif from the Hebrew of Genesis is repeated and repeated and repeated, and it's interwoven into the very theology of Christ himself, into his very being. Interestingly, Truman Madsen has an article that I hope to get to that shows that the primal makeup of our spirits is light. That's fascinating stuff there. So anyway, check out Hamblin of Jerusalem also. This is a call out. Hamblin of Jerusalem, go look at his stuff. It's fun. It's good. He's very, very intelligent. On pages 101 and 102, Charles Worth is showing a comparison of the themes of light. For instance, in John 14:17 and John 15:26 and John 16:13 and a variant in John 4:24, he says, the Greek reads to pneuma tes aletheos, while the Hebrew of the Dead Sea Scroll IQS has the ruach emet. Both of these mean the spirit of truth. And he has the Holy Spirit in the New Testament. The Greek is to pneuma to hagion. The Greek, that's the Greek. The Hebrew of the IQS reads beruach kadosh. And both of these mean the spirit of holiness, or the Holy Spirit. And I thought that was interesting. The sons of light